Hello, everyone. So today we are going to discuss an important topic, professionalism in communication. In today's session, we'll be looking into what communication is all about, the different types of communication, and how the professionalism has to be maintained during communication. Be it verbal, non-verbal communication, it is very important to maintain certain postures and etiquettes. So we will be discussing about the importance of body language in communication too. So let's see in depth. Are you ready? Come, let's move. So the first of all, let me discuss about professionalism. The professional communication, if you see, encompasses the three important types of communication. That is, we have written communication, the oral communication, visual and digital communication, which is happening in the workplace context. Basically, there are four different types of communication between the senders and receivers. Writing, that is written communication, speaking, that is oral communication, listening skills, and conducting meetings. There are different types of communication as stated here. Verbal, non-verbal, or called body language, which is in the form of facial gestures, tone of voice, low pitch, high pitch, body movement, and postures, the sitting posture, the talking posture, the walking posture, and everything. Eye contact and touch, the good touch and the bad touch. Digital communication, through happening through internet, then we have email and so on. Public speaking, the way how you present before the people, how you impress the audience, the target audience, and written communication, the way how you write a notice, make circulars, and so on. If you see, actually, as per the research study shows this way, in the communication process, 7% of the message is given through words, 38% is through the tone of voice, and 55% is through body language. So now it is up to you. You decide which one carries more weightage during communication. It is none other than the body language, isn't it? So we need to give more importance for a body language, which is encompassed in the part of the non-verbal communication. What are the important factors which matter for the verbal communication skills? The verbal communication can be really enhanced with the help of certain important skills. It can be in the form of wide reading. You need to have more knowledge for having the mastery over the subject and the area which you are covering through communication, isn't it? So you need to have a wide reading. You should have the proper body language. What is body language? What are different types of body language? What is positive body language? What is a negative body language? All that will be seen in the coming slides. Preparation is a key. You need to see that you are prepared for anything. If there is a situation you have expecting that this would happen, but if that wouldn't happen, something happens out of our control, you must be able to prepare to face that too. Listening carefully, thinking in terms of the learner's perspective. Now, if you are preparing and you go to the class and you present your information to the students. As a teacher, you have to not only look from your perspective, the teacher's perspective, it is very important to be seen from the student's perspective too. When I am preparing for the session in the class, I expect always from the student's perspective. I expect certain questions that these questions will be arised from the student's part. So not only looking from my perspective, I have to expect that the students would be asking these questions. And if the students are not asking also, I can clarify them then and there from a wider perspective. Speaking with confidence. How do you prepare with, how do you speak with confidence? If you have a very good preparation, if you expect things to happen beyond your expectations, then you obviously that instills confidence in you. And that confidence can be shown with the way you speak, way you communicate with the people. Developing skills. You need to know what are your strengths and weaknesses. And having known your weaknesses, it is your responsibility to develop such skills which really enhances your communication for the coming generations. Professional presentation. It is very important. In communication, we have an important aspect called presentation. How you present yourself. For example, when you are preparing a food in your house and you present it before the guests who are appearing, then, or if you're going to a restaurant, when you go to a restaurant, you are asking for masala dosha, or if you are asking for an ice cream or something, or a biryani or something, they give and come and present it before you, isn't it? And they, how do they present? Do they bring the entire vessel and come and place it before you? Or do they serve it in the plate, neatly arranged, making it more impressive and attractive? Do they do that? See, if you say anything, the same thing will be available in the small petty shops in Tattukada, or it can be the same thing will be available in the 5-star hotel or 3-star or whatever. But the thing is how well it is presented. And the rate for such dishes are prescribed in the menu based on the presentation, based on the attractiveness. Similarly, it is very important for a speaker, for a public speaker, to see that he is presenting himself in a much better manner before he presents himself before the audience. Because we say that first impression should be the best impression. Making impression is merely covered in the concept of professional presentation. There are 3 important primary skills which are discussed here: the verbal communication, the content of your presentation, and the non-verbal aspect. Factors to be considered while designing your presentation is that presenter's knowledge on the topic should be wider. It should be in-depth knowledge. He should be able to beat up whatever the people would be expecting to ask during the presentation to come. Strong command over the language. Whatever language he is using, it is very important for him to be aware of what he speaks and what he should not speak. He should be able to have the mastery over the language. Ability to briefly organize. He should have the ability to paraphrase and summarize what he is talking. As I am taking classes before you online, I just give a wider perspective idea. And finally, before ending my class, what I do, I just give a summary. What is the use of that? Because the people who would be able, they would be able to get a basic idea of what is a central idea of what is being spoken, either in the beginning of the presentation or in the end of the presentation. It's very important to give a brief outline. Because there is a psychologically a fact you must remember. A person's ability to hear, to listen can be only up to 10 to 12 minutes. So whenever you go for presenting your idea, your central idea, what you want the people to perceive, you must be able to arrange them and prioritize them and present it before the people in the first 10 to 12 minutes. If you are not able to reach them properly, obviously you will be in trouble. Then whatever information and the effort you have taken to present before people is just utterly a waste. So always remember, though you have, if you are a teacher, you're getting time in the class for up to 1 hour, or the entire 1 hour is a challenge, because as a teacher, it is very important to keep the students engaged. But if you're able to engage the students in the class, it is your creativity, you are well appreciated. There are different tactics to make the students attracted to your session. But it is very challenging sometimes to make the students attentive to your session. Obviously, on an online session, it's not the same as in the offline. Offline, you can somehow communicate with face-to-face interaction with the students, but online it is not that easy, because we are not physically seeing the people, but we are physically viewing the camera and talking to them, as if my video would be directly communicating to the people at home. So what I would like to say is that you should have a proper body language. You should know what to speak and how not to speak. You should express your thoughts in a well-constructive, structured manner. You should leave space for the listeners to think, reciprocate, and clarify. Once you finish your session, you don't say then and there it's over. No, you need to give the space for the people to discuss, give feedback. Feedback is very important in communication. Once you speak something, once you communicate with the people have to receive it. They have to perceive it, conceptualize it, reciprocate. And if they have clarifications, let them ask. Or if they have any suggestions, let them say it out, so that these suggestions can be a strength for your coming presentations too. Just not merely hearing through our one ear and leaving it through the other. It is very important to focus on each and every recommendations that they specify. But even though criticisms come, you take it in a positive manner. How to organize your presentations? So a good presentation should always be organized on various elements. So whenever you're going for a presentation, be it PowerPoint presentation or an oral communication, you need to have certain elements. You need to think certain things in your mind. And if I say PPT presentation, PowerPoint presentation, what do you mean by that? Not merely going there, showing the slides and pressing next, and reading whatever there in the PPT, not like that. A PowerPoint presentation should always have the bullet points of whatever you're going to talk. Whatever you need to emphasize, just give that point only. Explanation in your own words, as I'm doing just now. And we say a Chinese proverb is there, a picture speaks 1,000 words. If you show a picture or a video also, you should be very careful. Don't give more than 1 or 2 minutes, because people will not be able to receive the message. So whenever you're inculcating a blend of audio and video here and there, or a picture or whatever, don't give too many pictures. If you give 1 or 2, that's enough. That should speak out what you're able to. And whatever you give, it should correlate with what you communicate. If you don't communicate what is there in the picture, video, or audio, what you state, obviously, then that does not work out. Like how I am doing. I'm sitting in my home, but you can see me as if I'm sitting just next to a beach. My background shows a beach. How is that possible? It's just a creativity. Just adding on some flavor for the people to be attracted to my presentation. So it is very important for all of us to remember that we all need to organize our presentation in much better manner. So let us see, first of all, the introduction. You need to have the topic to discuss. You should explain about the scope and the coverage of your area. The purpose you need to say, why you want to start this presentation. You should not exceed about 1/10 of the length of the presentation too. Body nothing means, doesn't mean our body. It doesn't mean about the body language, but it means about the body of the speech you're going to conduct. So body here means the content, the inner part, the inner aspect, the heart of your presentation. Material supportive to your presentation can be PPT or role play or discussion or case discussion or a debate, whatever you're willing to conduct, making the people to be more active in it. Avoiding superficial or vague statements. Don't make negative comments. No criticizing anyone. Don't be more specific, purposely targeting anyone. Logical emphasis on main points. You need to just focus on to the main points. Wherever needed, just give emphasis of that. And if you find not all audiences are same. If you find that your audience is well and good enough to perceive what you speak in the first attempt, then that's a great thing. We need not emphasis on every silly matters. Very simple things you need not do, because the audience have already received it. They have perceived it. Whatever they are having confusion, just give on to that. And how do you understand that the audience is receiving it or not? Looking at their facial gesture. If they try to fold their forehead like this and all, this is all doubtful gestures. If they are very pleasant and raising their eyebrows and so on, they are very much appreciating your speech. These are certain body language. You should have the habit of looking at the eyes and having the eye contact of the people, and you should also look at the way how they reciprocate. Keeping supplementary or the background information in proper perspective. Summary, if you give, you need to, the third level is a summary. It should replicate the purpose of the presentation and the good restatement of main points. It must be including only the critical points that the audience need to remember. Then you have use of visual aids. As I told you, research states that 87.9% of what we learn is through visual. I said a picture speaks 1,000 words. Using a blend of audio and visual, a multimedia really plays a vital role sometimes. Or it can be through PPT, the PowerPoint presentation, or infographics too, which can give mainly for the statistical data and everything. People will be enhanced and attract their attention. So PowerPoint, if you see the older version of PowerPoint, there is 2007, 10, 12, 16 doesn't work out. 2019, the latest version you can see. Microsoft 365 has also come, which is also enhancing more input features, which can really enhance your presentation too. Now, there are different ways of presentation techniques. How do you present yourself? All these are important questions. Gathering more and more information. Before, when you get a topic, when you know about the audience, first of all, you should ask about the audience. And when you know about the audience, you should try to gather as much as information possible. Writing down the main ideas, the central ideas, prioritizing them, developing the introduction and conclusion, practicing your speech, delivery style should also be more enhanced. Use of the podium, where you are having the podium, don't just dance over from one place to the other. It shows, and you don't just hold on to the podium when you speak. Be very free, be very cool. Length of delivery, you should know how long you're going to speak a message. Eye contact is very important. Whom you are going to look. Don't look at the one person more than 1 minute. You should look everyone. Voice is very important. Intonation means the ups and downs. You're raising your voice, lowering your voice. You should have the flexibility, and the modulation of the voice should go on. Don't use the same tone of voice. It will make the presentation more boredom, more monotonous. It will be boring. Speak calmly. You should know where to speak calmly. You should know where to speak loud. Don't feel excited much, because it will be irritating sometimes, or it will be a harassment or embarrassing for the audience too. Question and answer session should also be arranged, so that the people you should expect people to ask questions. If the people don't ask questions, and if they agree to what you said, that means we can't assure that the people have completely listened to you. It was just a boring session. They wanted somehow to be ended. You can take it that way, or you can feel that you have done a greater achievement. Next, let us go into the important aspect, the body language. So the different body gestures we are having. So what does all these mean? So body language is nothing but, listen here. So body language is nothing but a body language is referring to the non-verbal signals that we are using to communicate the feelings and intentions. It includes postures, facial expressions, and hand gestures too. The ability to understand and interpret the body language can really help you to pick up on an unspoken issues. People do not speak, but it's really evident from the actions you perform, the problems or the negative feelings that other people might have. You can also use it in a positive manner to add strength to your verbal messages. Now, if I'm giving a presentation, if somebody's frowning at me or looking like this, frowning at me, obviously, I can stop my presentation and I can ask them, do you have anything to say? Or do you feel do you want to interrupt me like that? So that is a very important thing. I should give respect for the people's attention to. Now, the different types of body language. One is called paralanguage. Paralanguage is nothing but we say the songs, the music, the dance, everything we play aside. Then the hand gestures, like if I'm holding on to this, which means the hand gestures. Emblems, the symbols, we can say. Blocking, if I'm holding my hands this way like this, that means I am really feeling sorry and I'm not able to continue my further presentation. There's something problem with my presentation. The proxemics is nothing but the actions that we are doing. Ornaments, the dress codes we are doing. Eye gaze is nothing but the eye contact you make. Haptics is handshakes you make. Pacifying is something you are trying to bite your nails, or you are trying to keep your hands on the cheek, chin, and you try to just observe. So you have some sort of idea going in your mind and you want to interrupt the presentation. The facial expressions, the frowning, the happy, the anger, the confusion, everything, and the interest you do. So the expression of interest is also different types of body. So there are totally 11 types of body languages. So there are some important negative body languages like folded arms, then tense facial expression, then body turned away from you, poor eye contact, people are not willing to look at your eye. Then positive body language like open body position, arms unfolded and everything. Then upright posture, then relaxed and open facial expression, arms hanging relaxed by the sides, regular eye contact, and so on. Now, let us see some body language which is very evident and we do it often, but we are not aware of that. People sometimes bite their lips. Have you seen that? They bite their lips whenever, and this, what does it show? This shows that they are worried, anxious, stressed. Then tightening of lips, like this, some people sit, isn't it? So if that's happening, tightening of lips means it's an indication of distaste. They don't like anything. They disapprove. They don't trust anybody. So there is mistrust of it. Then crossed arms. Some people are like this. They cross their arms and sit, which means that they are defensive. They don't want to defend everything. They are self-protective. They are only self-centered. They don't want to agree with anyone. They are very much stubborn, firm-minded with their own feelings and emotions. They're closed off. They don't want anyone to be entertained. Then hand on the hips. If you are keeping both the hands on the hip and standing this way, it means you are ready and in control. It's a sign of aggressiveness. You're ready for the next action. Okay, what's next? Let's attitude. When you're sitting, if you sit, that is, we have a closed posture, like people keeping one leg over the other leg. That means it indicates and the way how you sit also is mattering, because it indicates hostility, the unfriendliness. I'm not going to be willing to agree to what you say, or anxiety. All these are the things that will express. Then if you are having an open posture, not keeping one leg over the other, but you're keeping it in an open posture, it means your friendliness, you're accepting, you're ready to accept the people, openness and willingness to learn something new. When you're standing between two people, you should always see, when you're having a personal distance, you don't stand too close. You have to have 1.5 feet or up to 4 feet you can stand and communicate. Whenever you speak, you should see that you don't try to touch others, or you don't try to feel that your hand doesn't touch anybody, or when you speak, the saliva should not fall onto the other person's body or face. You should be seen to that. Then when you are in a public distance, 12 to 25 feet should be there maintained to do that. What is the importance of maintaining this body language? It makes an impression, adapting to the change, developing positive attitude. The ability to understand and interpret body language can help us to pick up an unspoken issue, problems or negative feelings that the other people might have. Building trust in others, identifying the emotion, status, and your lifestyle. Any sign of conflict between the body language and the words can make us appear untrustworthy and deceptive. You can also use it in a positive manner to add strength to your verbal messages too. So a blend of verbal messages, verbal communication, and the non-verbal, that is body language, really makes a very good essence to your presentation. Now, there are different facial gestures we are having. First is a happiness. The second is a confusion. The third is a sadness. The fourth is excitement, then anger, and then surprise. That's it. So these are the different things that we can perceive. Now, there are different types of postures we have. Standing posture, that means it can be like straight, chest up, stomach in, leaning forward a little, knees straight but unlocked, like that. Palms up, that means that shows a sign of honesty and openness. Palms down, showing a sign of strength, assertiveness, that means ready to accept anything. Then, like for example, Barack Obama's presidential speech, if you see, it's very assertive, palms down, isn't it? Then we have that is change the positions frequently. That shows nervousness sometimes, or they are not confident about themselves, or anxiety it can be. Eye contact, then holding like a basketball, meaning to say the sign of confidence and control. So these are the important things that we have discussed today. I hope it is very clear. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.